The Germans from Russia are used to moving. They establish and they act globally, but they live locally. That's a quote from Professor Koberdance, but it's so true. As their colonial rights were removed in 1873 in South Russia, they could no longer be independent colonies. It meant Russification. It meant they had to speak the language and they could no longer be self-governed. In 1872, land opened up in was Dakota Territory, now North and South Dakota. They had received reports from earlier excursions to check out the area, and as a whole family, they came as a group. And migrations went as land became available. The next generation, of course, also wanted to work the land. The current wisdom is that between 30 and 40% of North Dakota citizens descend from the Germans from Russia. They migrated twice, sometimes 3 times, and they brought their customs and their culture with them. So the iron crosses are very important and very interesting. Along with the migration, there often was a wheelwright, someone who made wagons. Another person would be a blacksmith. So when it came to setting aside cemeteries, especially among the Catholic tradition, it was commonplace that they would make their own or hire a blacksmith to put up an iron cross for their loved one. And it's often found art, bolt from a wagon, or something that fell off the barn that's metal that you could put on there, and they end up being very decorative. Mostly blacksmiths were men, and so it was a way for them to really showcase their artistic talent. Making something out of something else was so common in our culture. Iron crosses are part of it, but even the crocheting, the knitting, making aprons. There's a bib in there that was made by a mother who, by the time she was 28, had died giving birth to her 10th child. Hard work makes life sweet. That's sort of the motto of the Germans from Russia. And they were not afraid of hard work. They came here and faced absolutely everything, starting all over again. So I hope that visitors who come here will be able to sample yet another of North Dakota's active ethnic groups, and perhaps even make them be more curious about their own ethnic heritage. I think many people will relate to this, and I hope that they will do further research. And my goodness, I hope they go home and interview Grandma and Grandpa, because we're running out of time for those oral histories. Most of the stories I gathered as an oral historian came from people who were just waiting to be asked. They just need to know that you are interested. And you can ask banal things like, what favorite food do you remember that your grandmother made? All of those things are important if we're going to continue the legacy of our ethnic groups.